Hey, welcome back. Wanted to do a quick video here on Delaware State Park in Ohio, situated on 1,686 acres. They have, I believe, 211 campsites. The park's located on US Route 23 near the city of Delaware, just north of Columbus, if you're familiar. Very large sites, great state park, one of our favorite so far. New clean shower houses. They also have a dog park. Dog park itself, very nice. My standard poodle, she's a year and a half. She loves it. She actually knows where it's at and will drag me there, my wife there, whether by foot or if I take her for a bike ride. She pulls me all the way to the park. Usually not very busy. There's been a dog once, I think, since we've been there, but plenty of room for the amount of traffic it gets. But really nice facility in the shade right inside the gate when you come in. They have nice laundry facilities as well, and the shower houses are the facility. The shower house in the center of the loops contains restrooms, of course, and showers, and then also the laundry facility. They had 2 sets of washers and 2 sets of dryers. Looked fairly new. It wasn't too expensive. $2 to wash and $2 to dry, which is somewhere around the average I think we see. And then part of that building, you've got family showers, which is really nice if you have young ones. Very private. It's got a restroom and then obviously a shower and a sink in there. You can go in there and get the kids washed up if you're going to use those. Then of course the restrooms, male and female, have their own showers, but also very clean. Seem very new. Everything stays, the crew there does a great job in keeping the facilities clean, that's for sure. And a lot of the sites here are large. I'm sure there may be some bigger than others, but in general, they're very large sites. And what I mean by that is obviously you have plenty of depth to get your travel rig or whatever you're using in there, but also left to right horizontally, you're spaced out, and it's very nice. The site we had this time was gigantic in terms of the woods that opened up behind it, so it's pretty nice, and where the fire pit was located. And another thing, there probably is others that do this, but I don't think we've been to one that had a designated tornado shelter. Of course, the brick and mortar shower houses are probably going to be a secondary tornado shelter, but this one here in Delaware has a whole dome-like facility with a large backup generator and everything, and I believe it's air conditioned inside in case you had to take cover with some of the storms that can roll through Ohio from time to time. So it's nice. We didn't have to use it. Hopefully we don't ever have to use it, but it's nice that it's there. They also, like many of the state parks in Ohio we've been to, there's somewhat of a miniature golf course or putt-putt course set up. This one is very clean, and what I mean by that is that the crew is spending a lot of time leaf blowing it every day. I have been to some, I'm not going to get into names, where grass clippings are blown all over it. It's kind of falling apart, the walls are falling apart. This one is not. This one's very clean, prestigious for a state park. Of course it's free. You go up to the camp store at the gate and just ask for the clubs and the balls, and you can go and have some fun and play some free miniature golf, but real nice and clean. And then of course, right inside the gate, like most state parks, they have their dump station. There's 2 dump stations and 1 water spigot. From time to time, people will put a splitter on there so a couple people can fill at the same time. Usually it's not too backed up. Of course, it's some of the busy times with checkout and check-in, depending on the day of the week, but right inside the gate. And the other thing that the Delaware State Park has, and some do, some don't, is they have their own marina that sits on the Delaware Lake. It's very nice. The marina seemed clean. I didn't go inside the building itself. I believe they were closed when I came by, but there was a handful of boats down at the docks, all tied up, and people that store them there for the season, of course. That's at the opposite end of the park of where we were camping, but it sits on Delaware Lake, as I mentioned. And it looks like Delaware Lake is not huge, but it's about 1,330 acres. It's a reservoir formed by the Delaware Dam. And it looks with a max depth of 29 feet, 35 miles of shoreline. We saw ranges when we were out on the boat, if you're fortunate enough to have access to a boat, and we were for a day. 8 foot deep to 30 foot deep, I would say, over by the dam. And then there's some of the swim areas and no wake zones. They get a little shower back in there at 6-7 foot or so, but it seemed nice, clean lake. We didn't see much debris, if anything floating. It wasn't a very busy day during the week, but no horsepower limitations. That's great. So any boats allowed to be used out there, and we were able to do some running around and doing some swimming, and got some shots with the drone and some of the stuff. So great lake. The water was reasonably temperature. I want to say it was 83 degrees, 84 degrees, I believe, with my watch. If I recall what my watch was saying at the time. But we had a good time. And overall, I think Delaware State Park is a tough one to knock off the top of the list so far. Of course, we're not putting this as in a rating, but between Delaware and I think Maumee Bay State Park so far, of course, there's plenty more to see. We're going to be going checking out Kaiser Lake State Park in the near future as well for the first time, and a few others, of course. But I just want to drop this video, show some of the footage I had gotten, and thanks for watching. And we'll try to get one out on the next stop. Thanks.